Thank you, first of all, Mr. Vikas Marwa, for joining us on Motor India Trans Report. It is a pleasure to have this discussion with you on Lumax Auto Division. So first of all, thank you for joining us in such a short notice.
No, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you, Rajesh,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
hope you're doing well.
yes, thank you. Wishing you the best wherever you are located, Mr. Marwa. So the first thing first, Mr. Marwa, we have known about the work of Lumax, Auto Technologies. Just give us an overview of the past say 6 to 12 months in terms of product development and acceptance in market in terms of you know air intake systems, your integrated plastic modules, and your gear shifters, particularly when the whole industry was transitioning from BS4 to BS6, and there was a lot of talk about the exhaust systems and the vehicle being designed in a way that it also meets the emission norms but are also efficient and lightweight. So what was your input as a company, and how did you kind of tackle this entire phase, because the lockdown and this whole COVID thing landed up right in between the BS4 to BS6 transition. So a quick overview of last 6 to 12 months.
So, very relevant question, Rajesh. And of course, it's been stressful for most of the businesses this entire 2020 almost since the beginning of the new financial year. Especially also, as you rightly noted, we were at the threshold of a major transformation from the BS4 to the BS6 regime. Now, when the thing started shutting down and India went into lockdown in the third week of March sometime, uh, it was already the time by which the OEMs were ready, the auto component makers were ready, and it's something that we had been working together on for the last 3 to 4 years. So, did not actually uh, come in as a showstopper at that point of time. We were ready for the rollout. The only thing that happened was that the milestone got shifted a little bit in terms of the SOPs of the OEMs, because more or less April to May was a complete washout for most of the OEMs when nothing much was getting produced,
Mm.
including a complete lockdown period for almost entire of April. So, as far as the product readiness was concerned, the products were validated. We had gone through the final prototype trials, and all the necessary corrections had been made. So, the products were ready to be fitted. And in fact, the SOP readiness dispatches had started happening from the month of January itself to the OEMs, because the OEMs were also building inventories. So it was not like we saw it as a huge shock that this situation has happened, or the pandemic, and therefore now suddenly the entire strategy goes for a tailspin. So the product readiness was there as far as Lumex was concerned, and I'm sure for the other component manufacturers also. Second, traveling from BS4 to BS6, there were two or three critical products that we were trying to get into the market. One was, of course, adaptation of our plastics division at Lumex Auto Technologies to the new BS6 designs and whatever modifications had been carried out in terms of vehicle geometry, vehicle weight, vehicle aesthetics, and finally also from the engineering point of view, which is, of course, the most important. So the plastic division was ready with all those things. As far as the air intake systems are also concerned, yes, there were substantial changes that went in on the exhaust and on the emission side in terms of redoing that part in terms of the OEM's designs and adapting to it. So that readiness was there with all our existing customers. Uh, and we do deal with at least 5 or 6 major OEMs, including a major global OEM who is a world leader in this space, who takes parts from us. Uh, uh, Absolutely new product we were trying to get into the market for the first time, which was the oxygen sensors. And oxygen sensors was now to be mandatorily become a regime in the BS6 phase, where it would need to get fitted on to all the vehicles. So
Mm.
we were getting ready for the launch of this particular product for a two-wheeler manufacturer. And this timeline got impacted a bit because the plant readiness then got shifted a little bit due to the COVID situation. So while the plant was very much in place, but the localized vehicle readiness trials that were to happen with the support of our overseas JV partner, that was impacted a bit. Finally, we were able to do it in the period of October to December this year. And now we are rolling out the localized solutions very shortly to that two-wheeler manufacturer for the oxygen sensor. Which again, I am very happy to inform you, this is an integrated facility for manufacturing of both heated as well as unheated oxygen sensors that we have set up in Gurgaon with our joint venture technology partner FAE of Spain. So this is the venture which is called Lumex Phi Auto Technologies, and this is now ready to supply localized oxygen sensors catering to the BS6 regime and going beyond that to the OBD2 norms also to the vehicle manufacturers.
Got it.
Yes. So as far as the plants were concerned, the plants were in a state of readiness. April to June, while there was a definite shutdown and the capacities were lying idle and unutilized, we saw the wheels gradually turning in July. August, we were back to almost like 75% of our capacity utilization levels. And September, we notched it up a bit by another about 5 to 7%. And October, we saw an almost close to all-time high capacity utilization, touching for many of our businesses at Lumex Auto Technologies at 90% and beyond. Which is where October and a good part of the first half of November went in catering to that particular demand. So in terms of our hope or expectation, I would say in terms of a V-shaped recovery, it was more than met or more than fulfilled for those couple of months. And December again, a couple of major OEMs are now getting into their annual shutdowns and their block closures. And the machines need to get back into the maintenance mode. Also, then to taper it down to match the market demand, which naturally slows down during this particular period for about a month or so, and get them ready for the January to March period, which again, as per the indication and the indents being received from the OEMs, looks pretty healthy. And for sure, we hope to do the January to March this year, which is the Q4 performance, will be slightly better, if not significantly better than the last year Q4. But yes, April to June again being a washout for the industry. So year on year, the growth will be a little negative. But have we made up the lost ground? I would say because of our readiness and because of the market situation being favorable, substantial ground has been covered to that extent. And things do not look as bleak as they did in the month of June or July.
Thank you so much for the overview. It kind of summed up your overall strategy for the division and how you kind of revamped the operation post the unlock. So now, given the diversified range of products that you have, is it easier to say that major focus is on two-wheelers and passenger cars than what it is in commercial vehicles? And if so, how do you then kind of balance your utilization, your capacities, and deal with clients in terms of what the requirements are? Because contrary to not contrary, in fact, what the demands type are, the two-wheeler and passenger vehicle segment has different demand from what the commercial vehicle segment would want to. So what is your focus at this point, and how do you want to take forward Lumax Auto Technologies in terms of the clients and the market? Few words on that.
All right. So if you look at the DNA of Lumex Auto Technologies, we are well diversified across the four-wheeler and the two-wheeler segments. Over the last few years, Lumex has been also ramping up significant focus on the commercial vehicle business as well as going into the off-highway vehicle representation also. If you see the current product portfolio, the major let's say backbone businesses of Lumax Auto Technology, be it the Lumax Mano Auto Technologies, which is a mature business, which is a successful joint venture with Mano Corporation of Japan, is completely focused on four-wheelers. The product intricacy and the product design and the product application is focused towards making it an application for the four-wheelers and commercial vehicle and off-highway vehicle businesses. So it is not designed for two-wheelers. This is a gear shifter business that I'm talking about. As a strategy, we decided to expand and focus further on the gear shifter business, making it like integrated system supplier kind of a solution, where we further went ahead and did another partnership, a technology partnership, making it a joint venture with YOP of Germany, JOPP. This JV was signed in 2018 for shift towers, which is an integral part of the complete driveline system beyond the gear shifter. Right. Now, to that extent, our focus has been becoming a system supplier. So YOP, again, you see very clearly focused again, not on two-wheelers, but on these particular businesses. You come to plastics. In plastics till now, for Lumax Auto Technology, more than 90% of our business has been focusing on the two-wheeler plastics and the modules. We signed up a technology agreement with EO Corporation of Japan, which is a technology leader and a major partner to Maruti Suzuki back in Japan, which is for the development of the kinematics plastics part now for the four-wheelers. With this business objective, we approached the OEMs, and as we speak, I am happy to confirm to you that we have now a decent order book now for the rollout of the four-wheeler kinematics parts now, not only at Manesar, as well as in Bangalore also now. So Bangalore and Manesar are our plastic facilities within the Lumax Auto Technologies for supplying into two-wheelers. Besides the integrated plastic modules that we supply along with lighting from the Lumax Auto Technology Pantnagar plant, which is our polymer division, where we supply integrated plastic with lighting solutions to a major two-wheeler manufacturer from our Pantnagar plant. So this four-wheeler focus is getting realized through this technology collaboration with EO Corporation, making of these kinematics parts. Very clearly, we want to expand from a two-wheeler presence into a four-wheeler presence for plastics. The gear shifter and the shift tower business will continue to focus on the four-wheelers as well as the commercial vehicle business and the off-highway vehicles for those applications. Then there are new ventures that have been signed, like you have got Ituran. Lumax Ituran is a telematics service provider, and Ituran is a global technology giant in the technology space and is a Nasdaq listed company which is supplying the telematics solutions for connected vehicles to two-wheelers and four-wheelers, all kinds of vehicles. So therefore the application is both for two-wheelers as well as for four-wheelers. The oxygen sensor business, while of course the oxygen sensor is utilized on four-wheelers also, but we have decided to keep a focus very clearly for the next 5 years at least, only servicing the two-wheeler domain. This is a high technology products where you've got global leaders limited to just 2 or 3 players, right? And this high technology product needs concentrated focus on one particular segment. So accordingly, our focus will be on the two-wheelers here. We come to another joint venture that we have signed this year before COVID happened. That was in February at Auto Expo. And that was for the antenna systems, the vehicle communication antenna systems. Now, while the vehicle communication antenna systems may look very humble and very simple kind of products to anyone, but you'll be surprised that none of these antenna systems are manufactured in India currently. They're all imported. They're all imported, including the micro antennas, the rod antennas, and the shark fin antennas. So the focus here is to make our presence felt in this segment.
Hmm.
Happy to share with you that we have already signed up for business with two major OEMs in India,
Mhm.
and 22, 23 is the launch date of or the SOP dates for this particular business that we intend to do.
Hmm. Got it.
So besides this, there are a couple of other partnerships that we have, and of course, not to forget the metallics division
Mhm.
that is bucketed right now into supplying the chassis for the two-wheeler business,
Okay.
right? And the seat frame business, which we support for the seating structures.
Hmm.
Right? So 5 years from now, how I see Lumex Auto Technology is where there will be a much larger play of four-wheelers in certain segments for sure, not downsizing our presence in the two-wheeler segment. Uh, Ideal situation would be to have a 50-50 play in both four-wheelers and two-wheelers,
Okay.
but pretty much we do not see both the businesses being drastically apart from each other in terms of the share of the business. So when a customer thinks of Lumex Auto Technologies,
Hmm.
be it a two-wheeler customer, be it a four-wheeler customer, and we have vendor codes for all of them. We are supplying to, I think, with the exception of maybe one or two OEMs.
Mhm.
Across four-wheelers and two-wheeler space, Lumex Auto Technology today has a business relationship with all the customers.
Got it. Got it. Very nice. In fact, the whole kind of overview that you gave, or just about different divisions and different strategic partnership to give Lumax Auto Technologies an upper hand in terms of the products and services that it intends and provides in the Indian market. Given that, would you then further would want to list down certain USPs in each of these divisions? Say, for example, you said about plastic division. You spoke about the telematics, onboard antennas, oxygen sensors. So, how do you first kind of bracket it in divisions, metallic division, plastic division, and list out USPs of this? I mean, going forward, definitely one what I see is the partnerships that you have with the foreign players, but you would want to up your branding and name, and want to focus more on localization and local content here to cater to the Indian domestic customers with the right cost. So list down a few USPs of each division and what is the vision for each division going forward. And going forward is like 2 to 3 years from now. Yeah.
No, great question, Rajesh. And this is something where we revisit our strategy board on a regular basis. So you're right. There's a lot of thinking and diligence that has gone towards making not only our partnerships but
Mhm.
also towards making the legacy businesses more robust
True.
in terms of the value added contribution. Uh, like for example, if you look from the lighting perspective alone, Lumex is the market leader now for several decades in that particular business segment. Ideally, we would like to be in a market leadership position in almost all of the businesses at Lumex Auto Technology as well.
Mhm.
Having said that, since we have also decided our playing field very clearly, we are not averse to looking at niche market leadership also
Mhm.
in the defined technology products or the space that we are looking at. I will give you an example now, first to begin with, of the gear shifter division.
Mhm.
The gear shifter division currently is proud to be holding a 55% market share in the PV space, which is the passenger vehicle space, which is a very respectable market share considering the presence of several global players in this particular segment.
True.
How this has happened is by the virtue of the fact that besides the technology collaboration that we formed with Mano,
Mhm.
Lumax and Mano, due to the trust on each other's business expertise, their belief in the Indian market, and an extremely good relationship that we have with all our JV partners,
Mhm.
Lumax and Mano started localizing the gear shifter products for the Indian market many years back. Today, our R&D center in Manesar, which has an active technology support, including the resident Japanese technology experts from Mano stationed here, is probably one of the finest design centers for gear shifter technology in the country today. There are patents that we have got to our name in this joint venture. There are several patents that are under filing also. When you talk about gear shifters, besides the manual gear shifters, the R&D center at Manesar of Lumax Mano has been able to successfully churn out the AMT gear shifters and the AT gear shifters for all the passenger vehicle manufacturers. So much so that today for some of the AT gear shifter models at major OEM, you see almost a 90% share of business with Lumax Mano in this particular field. We are currently on the brink of launching also the dual clutch transmission system, the DCT gear shifter, very shortly from Lumax Mano, which will be the first time ever from any company in India, including no multinational has till now done it, except for maybe one or two select models of one OEM. So there is a mass rollout in terms of the localization endeavors that is planned through this particular entity, which will keep us a step ahead of the competition, not only on the technology space, but also from a very high level of localization, which is rightly the word that you asked me about. So there's a more than a 90% localization of the products that is planned. Come to our legacy businesses of the metallic division, as well as with the plastics division. So while a bulk of these businesses till now have focused on build to print designs coming in from the OEMs, the value addition therefore to that extent has been a little bit restricted. However, the company is now investing through partnerships like with EO Corporation into a design proprietary kind of a technology, and we are trying to move into the lightweighting space, the use of alternate materials, and also by continuing to invest in both these businesses for manufacturing optimization and towards making the new plants as factories for the future. Happy to share with you that a very, very focused business like the metallics division running out of Aurangabad for supplying two-wheeler chassis to the major OEM customer in Aurangabad. During the pandemic, we have won the customer confidence to roll out now the two-wheeler chassis, including for the KTM bikes, which are the super bikes of that particular OEM. So the business has expanded beyond Aurangabad, where all these years it was running, on to even Pune now. Take the example of emissions business. The Lumax Cornalia joint venture got it first time right with a successful SOP of urea tanks, which is a very, very critical BS6 product, right? And I missed mentioning on that on your first question itself, but one of our most, I would say, satisfying and heartening and encouraging launches this year, and it has happened during pandemic, has been the urea tank rollout. Now, urea tank for the commercial vehicle space, for our major commercial vehicle customer there, Tata Motors, right? At Pune and at Pantnagar in a localized offering is something that we are extremely proud of, and that is something that we hope to further expand onto other customers and also to now the passenger vehicle segment going ahead in the future. Now, when you think of companies who are like as diversified as we are in terms of our partnerships, there will be only a few, right? And they might also be restricted only to 2, 3, or 4 relationships at best. We intend to keep investing not only in the stature of the partners that we have to get the best technology here in the country, but that partnership we are not limiting to only getting the designs from them and trying to do something in India. We are also trying to set up the local research and design centers for them. So today you have an R&D center at Lumax Mano. You have an R&D center at Lumax Cornalia. You have an upcoming R&D center at Lumax Yop. And the future JV partnerships have been also signed up to that effect, to have local R&D centers based here in India, because the OEM mandate is very clear that going ahead probably OEMs will not be willing to compensate the auto component manufacturer for the imported part content.
Got it.
Now, a major major, I would say, a technology or rather a business edge that we get in these partnerships is because of the growing electronic contents on many of these parts,
True.
be it the gear shifters or there's a lot of electronic content that is even going to come on the emission space. There's a lot of electronic content.
Mm.
Some people may not be aware that maybe they are on the urea tanks, on plastic fuel tanks, right? Of the play of sensors and everything. So within Lumax Group, the Lumax Electronics division
Mm.
right now is planned to reach a level of maturity where it will be supporting not only Lumex Industries but also all the existing and the forthcoming partnerships of Lumex Auto Technologies for a very critical component that is the PCB SMT.
Mm.
So the PCB manufacturing in-house is a major backward integration that Lumex as a group has today,
Okay.
which will assure us of the resilience, the sustenance, and the robustness of this particularly critical electronic component, you know, and going ahead, many other electronic components like this, that will then give an added advantage to Lumex Auto Technology as well to pursue its objectives of getting the right products to the Indian market at the best possible pricing.
I think. Mm.
Uh, Lastly, I would like to say that even the new joint ventures like Lumex Ituran are now very aggressively working on rolling out the local AIS 140 solution, which is a regulatory requirement. And hopefully, we should be ready over the next couple of months to be rolling out the AIS 140 solutions in terms of the government mandatory requirements, along with our joint venture partner Ituran. So it is so even for the new joint ventures, the business plan has not envisaged
Mhm.
the imported components play to be there for more than 6 to 12 months at best. And right from second year onwards, the localization is kicking in with the final objective being more than 75% to 80% localization. And probably successful examples like Lumex Mano crossing it to 90-95% levels. So I hope that answers your question.
Sure. Yes. Yes. So very nice. In fact, the investment and across R&D, across the plants and the strategic JVs have given you quite an edge in terms of being ready for the demand and ready for the change which you foresee. So now, since you have seen the current times, the pandemic, and also the sales up and down in the last 1 year, what is your broad outlook for 2021, particularly for the segment that you operate in? And are there learnings that can be taken from the experience that we had to also the new segments like the farm equipment segment or the commercial vehicle segment to be particular? Are there something that you have learned from your experience in two-wheelers and four-wheelers that you would want to take it forward easily to the commercial vehicles and the construction equipment or farm equipment niche?
So FY21, of course, more or less the situation is given due to the 3 or 4 months of slowdown and a washout.
Mm-hmm.
We are not definitely looking at a growth this year. However, all I can assure you right now is that our performance at Lumex Auto Technology uh, will be better than the overall industry figures,
Okay.
even for FY21.
Mm-hmm.
And we still have 3 to 4 months to go. Right. For FY22, if the vehicle projections and the OEMs indications hold good,
Mm.
we are looking definitely at a robust double-digit growth there.
Okay.
I would not like to put a number on it right now. We will still wait for a little more guidance to come, and probably closer to the beginning of the financial year will be more clear of the picture. The new JVs are set for ramp up, and there are new SOPs that are planned. So those vehicle launches are happening, which will add incremental sales to the current portfolio, including of those other products that have been under development for quite some time. Definitely, I think FY22 rather would see a much larger growth coming in from our commercial vehicle space right now, where Lumex Auto Technologies has had a limited presence, driven by products like urea tanks, of course. Second, the plastics business will mark its footprint on the four-wheeler space. That will be noticeable in FY22, and we will continue to ramp it up further. Uh, the new JVs would see our entry into new customer segments, and there are at least two new OEM entries that are being planned for FY22 as we speak. So FY22, I would say, would be more on consolidation. If FY21 was, just holding your house together due to this unprecedented pandemic that happened, FY22 is going to be very much on consolidation. Focus still on a larger vision of the next 3 years, where we would like to see Lumax Auto Technology in terms of our strategy roadmap. And as I have earlier mentioned, I think as you can even right now see from all our investor meeting notes or our technology, our business presentations being a listed entity, it's all in the public domain. I think the two-wheeler and the four-wheeler play will be just maybe 5 to 10% apart from each other in terms of the share of business representation 3 years down. That is a wish, and that is where we would want the company to be positioned. No, your summation is absolutely right, Rajesh, in terms of what you have been able to gather. Where Lumax Auto Technology will now bring further value to the OEMs will be not only getting the right products into the OEM's fold, but also at the right price from the right location, right? With the long-term sustenance and investments in terms of the technologies of these products. There are pain areas which the OEMs may have, where certain companies may decide to either import those parts or do a little bit of value addition or make some partnership and try to then attend to the need of the OEMs for that particular short time. From Lumax Auto Technologies point of view, our focus is not only to get those products for the OEM customer, but also continuing to invest on a long-term basis in terms of the localization, the R&D, and the technology enhancement, right? To keep bringing down the costs for the customer, and also thereby contribute to the Make in India story, not only in words, but actually doing it as an actionable point. While our business plans, like any other tier 1 player or a major tier 1 player, are aggressive, we also have our feet firmly on the ground in terms of not going astray from our strengths or from the areas that we know best. So therefore, we are not getting into the areas currently which we do not understand so well right now. We are also not getting swayed or carried away too much by the key buzzword of EV revolution,
Correct.
Which itself has taken some setback due to this pandemic. We have our strategy in place even for that particular business as we speak. The idea currently is to support the OEMs in making Indian market resilient and strong enough to support its ecosystem internally from India-based manufacturers with world-class technologies and reducing our import dependence completely. So this particular thrust will continue to be in place from all the OEMs. And I think the next 3 to 5 years are going to be very exciting. Not only meeting the OEM's demands there, but also fulfilling our own business ambitions.
Thank you so much for your time and this interview. It was a pleasure interacting with you and knowing the broad, product solutions and technologies that you have in plan for the Indian market. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Rajesh.
you.
It's been nice talking to you, and I really appreciate your overall understanding of the automotive business as it runs today.
Sure. Thank you so much.
For more videos, exclusive interviews, and press events, subscribe to Motor India's YouTube channel, and to read in-depth articles, log on to www.motorindiaonline.in.